Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio. This is Michael Lott here with Lee Snider, and it is Sunday, December 9th. Our special friend, Michael Braswell, is not here today. I believe he's doing healing sessions somewhere.
Maybe on himself.
Yeah, maybe he'll listen to this tonight. Oh my gosh. Wow, what an energy.
It totally is.
I'm flying like a high as a kite right now, and it just was, as soon as I sat down, I felt like I'm going through tunnels.
I feel like I'm in a flight zone that I'm not really sure where I'm going, but wherever it's at, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. But the energy in here is quite different. And we were speaking about it kind of the beginning is because maybe it's because Michael was not here tonight. And because it's been several weeks since just me and you were here, but it's it's a totally switch in the energy in this actual studio. And I'm not real sure exactly what it is, but I had felt this once before this week. And it's totally just being into the joyful and giddiness of the year.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just totally around that.
Not to mention there was a Christmas party of friends last night.
There was a Christmas party of friends, and it was a great evening.
It was.
We had a wonderful time. And Michael went into his creative mode and drew cards of what intuitively he had gotten for everybody that was here, and wrote exactly what was supposed to be on there for us to read. And it was just quite astounding to see how beautiful they were, and then to have the people to read them, and what it meant to them, what the saying was. So it was just a great fun night. I was just in a very joyous mood. It was just all day yesterday was very holiday type feeling for me. But just being in the presence of all of that last night just made me really happy and joyful. And I'm looking at Michael Lott right now that has a Santa Claus hat on. And he's actually taking the little flap and he's putting it down in between the middle of his eyes, and he's kind of covering it up with his third eye. I guess that's what it is. So it's quite interesting. We have been going to do this show all day, and we've just been able to get to the point today to do it. And so it's just been a wonderful week for me.
Yeah, me as well. It's just the countdown to December 21st and the new year. Wow, it is so close. We are getting so close. And the energy is just, it is like every day is a new something. Some feeling, awareness. I don't know about you all out there, but I've just had so many new awarenesses. It's as if I'm seeing a bigger picture with people than I've ever seen before. When I meet somebody, there's a bigger vision there than even the intuitive has been in the past. It's and a bigger vision of myself and areas of myself that are coming up to be healed and to be resolved right now. It's just been really amazing.
It has been, and I've really noticed just the going out that you either see people that is just really down as far as their thought pattern and energy, or they're in the middle of a shift.
Yeah. And
they're very confused and really don't know which way to go because they're feeling different than what they've always felt before. And I like to encourage everybody just to get more into yourself and really think through all of this and not just kind of shuffle it off in the background saying this is just one of the days that I'm having and I don't know why. There is a reason for that. You know, divine always puts us where we need to be. And when those thought patterns come in that you're not real sure about what's going on with you, whether it's depression or whether it's, even let's go to the reverse mode, total joyful. I mean, in the past month, I mean, I have just been so joyful that I'm almost joyful over myself. I mean, it's just like I got this
Yeah.
happy feeling within me that is just opened up that I haven't felt in years. And
Hmm.
it just can change your life. It can just do it overnight. And if you're feeling a lot of this type of thing, you really need to sit down with it and just really concentrate on what's happening in your life and what you want out of your life, out of this lifetime. Because, and we've said this before numerous times, this is a year for shedding all the old that don't need to be there. And by December the 21st, that needs to be done.
Yeah, this is just a fantastic year. And you know what kept popping into my mind, Lee? I know we've talked about this, you and I, a lot, but I think it'd be good to give some of the folks out there some of the symptoms, bodily,
Right.
energetic symptoms of what's kind of going on and what you may be experiencing. I've heard many people say that they need to go to the doctors and all kinds of stuff like that for a lot of the symptoms that I've been experiencing it throughout this whole year in different ways, and I'm just totally fine. And I understand that it's the energy, but I just want to put them out there. I'm not saying not to go visit somebody if you need to, but just something just to be aware of, that there's others going through these same things, and there's a clear pattern with it and a clear change in the body mind spirit connection along with it. And I'll share some of the things that I've been going through. The last couple of months have been very intense. A lot of gastrointestinal different shifts. Sometimes constipation. Sometimes the opposite, loose. There's been all kinds of stuff like that. It's just kind of sudden too. It'll just come up upon me, and I feel a lot of gurgling a lot of times in my lower abdomen, and there's always some type of shift that's going along with that energetically. I've felt as a lot of these lower chakra changes, is what I'm going to call them, and expansion and the integration of the new energies into our body. I've also felt the ability to digest different kinds of energies, which I think is a direct thing that's going on, allowing our bodies to be able to handle the new energies. And sometimes there's even some pain associated with it. It's never long standing. It kind of comes and goes. But I've also, along with that, I'll go through days sometimes where I have to eat constantly, and then days where I don't want to eat. It's been more of feeling the need to eat. And I've kind of had to just be gentle with myself, because I can be eating a lot, and sometimes my weight will go down. And some days I even feel kind of bloated. There's a bloating, and then it'll completely go away, and bloating and go away. And it comes and goes so fast, and I never experienced it like this until this year. And other friends of mine, I know, Lee, you and I talk about this all the time. We keep track of what's going on with each other, and we have some other friends too. But we're all going through different types of it. It may be one stint or the other, but some type of things. Also, a lot of heart things. I've experienced various kind of heart things. For me, it's been a lot more like energetic pulsing. I'll feel this really rapid pulsing, like my heart's fluttering sometimes. And especially, there's a new chakra that's opening in our bodies. It's called the divine heart. Some people call it divine heart. And it's in between the throat and the heart. And there's sometimes it's difficult to breathe as the energies are shifting through there. And I don't know, for me, sometimes I'll just have to, take some nice deep breaths and, just open it up, or go outside and get some fresh air. But it's never been anything that I've worried about, because I know it's just energy shifts, and it just kind of comes and goes. And our bodies and our energy fields are opening up and expanding so much, especially when you allow it and you're open, that it's just part of the process. Another thing for me, I get some buzzes in my heads, but very little. I know Lee, you can probably talk about that, but my third eye and in my head, I feel it just this expansion happening. And sometimes it'll be dizziness, sometimes some forgetfulness. But for me, the forgetfulness is real interesting because I feel myself stepping through different dimensions, and I actually have to come back. And when I come back to the kind of this human present dimension, then I'll remember. But I have to take myself back there consciously, and it may take a couple of moments, but I'll consciously have to go, no, I have to go back to the other place, and then I'll remember it. And I can tell you that getting on too many other drug situations or taking too many prescriptions will likely have some adverse effects on some of this stuff. It'll probably make it more difficult to go through, and instead of the expansion and the evolution of self, which is what's happening to us, and if you're conscious, it's that much better, and it's that much more able, because you're going to gain the awarenesses instead of being drugged out. So sometimes there's a little pain. I've had a little bit of pain, sometimes, muscle soreness and shoulders and all kinds of stuff. But I've also found that light exercise, just a little walking here and there and things, but nothing too strenuous. I have not been able to do any strenuous activity, and it's been very clear from my divine guidance to kind of stay away from that right now. Just be gentle. What about you, Lee?
Well, all the above that you just talked about mainly, but we just kind of do it a little differently because my head has a total buzz with it, and I know yours is a lot of times more in the heart than mine is, but my head is just like a bees. It's like a swarm of bees just going totally around in my head all the time, and it's like my ears that. It's like a screaming noise. It's hard to describe. It's, I guess, the bee type noise, and it's just be millions of bees in your ears. That type of thinking. Also, my vision has been going in and out.
Yes.
At times it can be. It's like at times I can actually focus on something, and it's like I can see right through it. It's just like I have just power vision. Okay, and then other times I can just go into more where there's like a fog type look over my eyes, and I have to really concentrate on bringing myself even back centered into this world, because I feel like that I'm just totally floating out there in the universe somewhere, and at that moment just lose that minute. and also and it can actually be that fast because it's been amazing how many times that I've misplaced my keys, I've misplaced my glasses, and I was always very regimented, pretty much to put all those things in the same spot, to whereas I could just pick it up and go with it. Oh no, I even think that at times that we've been tricked. I've thought, okay, I know I put it there. Now there's been a spirit that's been here and moved this. And then I would go back to the same place, maybe just a few minutes later, and there they sit again. And I'm thinking, was I out of my head? Was I out in another dimension when I looked at that and saw nothing? And then I came back to myself and I saw it. So it's a very confusing thing. If you really don't know what's going on, sometimes you think, gosh, I am going crazy. Because what is going on here? The driving part, oh my gosh, this is another thing. People's all over the road. They're going over the lines. They're just like, and you and you drive. And I just pay very close attention to whereas when you go by them, and I kind of look over there at them, it's just like they're not even there.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, where's the driver of the car? You know what I mean? But a lot of that type of thing is going on. Then you got the person that can be going 70 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden just go down to 45. It's just been amazing. It's not any type of consistency with how that it goes. And that's why I guess that we're all, we're just going through all these different things because there's no consistency to it. You can't really describe what that's going to be from one second to the next, And losing time. Wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
We were talking about that today.
Losing time has just really been something. It's been like certain times I can get up in the morning and it's like the whole day is gone. And I think, what in the world was I doing today?
Yeah.
Or I can just, it can say 1 p.m. on the clock, and then I can look up there and it's 5 p.m., and then I don't even know where I've even been. And it's another situation that you get totally sleepy very fast. I can be so engrossed in doing something and all of a sudden cannot even keep my eyes open. And I have to just lay down.
Yeah.
And then and then there's this buzzing thing again. And when I lay down, it's maybe an hour, 2 hours. Don't know how long that it is. And I'm waking up saying, God, what happened to the time? Where's the day at?
Yeah.
So you got a lot of patterns with that. I'll also say, I was writing some notes down when Michael was talking. The neck area, very much stiffness there at times with me.
Me too.
The shoulders was with me last week to where, oh my gosh, I'd get up out of the bed and my shoulder, right around the shoulder blades, and like I would just have to move my arms around in circles to get myself together, and it would be very sore. And I could do that, and then all of a sudden, within 5 minutes, it's gone. I totally had shoulder blade issues a couple of weeks ago. We discussed that. That was just total sharp pains. Would last 1 hour, and you could say within 1 hour on that dot it goes away, because I think that Spirit knows that that's how long you could actually take the pain to be able to tune yourself with it. Mm-hmm. So all of these things are going on. We're also talking about that, for example, last night with the group of people that was here. I mean, we could hardly even hear over the growling of the solar plexus system. It was like 10 lines in one room.
You were sitting next to one of them.
I was sitting next. I was in the middle of these two guys.
Oh.
And it was just like, well, which one's rolling now? And it was one of them. But it was a lot of growling going on, and you could just see it. And I really noticed it whenever they were reading their cards that you wrote, the back of it that you channeled in. I noticed that every time that they would start reading this, they would have some type of a growl in their stomach. Every one had that.
Really?
And I haven't mentioned that to you today, but it did. It's like it started moving the solar plexus area, and it was a growling type noise. The guy on the left-hand side of me was so strong with that I actually put my head on his shoulder, and I actually put my hand on his solar plexus to try to calm the thing down, to just, let's calm this energy. It was amazing. But it was just quite interesting to see how that rotated itself around.
Well, when you were tuned into that, I wouldn't feel that, but I was really feeling the heart pulses from people. Michael Braswell brought it up too. Whenever someone would read their things, on the back of the card, it just I could feel their like pulsing from their hearts as they, would open up to share something. And some of them really intense, and some of them more than others. It's just...
So I think that's also a great example to even bring up, because we haven't even discussed this. That's the first time I'd heard that, is to really put it out there to all these people that listen, is that we're all different.
Oh, yeah.
We all receive differently. We all, look at things differently. But as long as you're into the spirit, into the energy of a group of people, and that is so important to all. If it's just one person that you can share your thoughts with, that's always a great thing. I mean, you can do your own thing. A lot of people just like doing their own thing, but you can multiply it tenfold as far as the thought patterns and really growing faster in your spiritual life. If you do have someone that you can always bounce that off from.
It's wonderful.
It's just a wonderful thing. And then when you multiply it with 10 people, and it doesn't make any difference what, levels that they are, they're spiritual people. I mean, you don't ever judge anybody where they're at, because we're all different. But just putting the collective energy in one room. This house last night, it felt like it was 110 degrees sitting in here.
It was.
I mean, I had to get up and turn the air on, and it was we were just sweating. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's a lot of energy.
A lot of the angels coming in, a lot of just the energetic type, whatever that was coming in here that was, energies from above. And then we shifted it, and we moved from this room back into the living room. And it was really cool out there, so we're all saying, oh, God, this is much better. And within 10 minutes, it was just as hot there as it was the room we left.
Something, huh?
It was just amazing. It was just an amazing experience to see how, because it had been a while since we've done that. And it was amazing to see what a switch it had been from last time we did it to this time we do it. It was just like totally different people.
And in the new energies that we're in now.
Absolutely.
That's, to me, the most interesting of it all. Because we used to do these things all the time.
Every week.
We had a circle every week, and the energy just is so different now than it was then. And it feels like a little. I feel like a little kid.
It's learning again.
Yeah.
I mean, about time that you think you graduated, going back to pre-kindergarten.
Totally.
And it's just totally time to get out of your head of what you've always believed. It's time to release all the different things that's still sitting with you that you haven't forgiven yourself, or you haven't forgiven another person, or that you just. Or even, I think there's a lot of imaginations going on now. And sometimes instead of thinking on the bright side of imagination, it's an imagination of this person is not acting the same way that they used to. So obviously there's some type of something I've said to them or this or that. It can be negative or positive on that realm. And it's really not that at all. It's shedding your own thing. This is perfect timing and it has been this whole year, but by the December the 21st, it is a necessity to do this. If you choose to do it yourself, that is your choice. But I think it's a necessity to really not get too deep with anything, as far as, and just stay in the moment of joy and laughter and love. When you stay into those three areas, you will always be the winner in every area of your life.
Live, laugh, love.
Live, life, love. That's right.
Yeah, you're so right on with that. It's been so important for me this month to just rest as much as possible and have fun. And like you said, not get so deep, not get too deep in anything. There's going to be plenty of time to get deep into stuff.
I mean, there's been times that I've slept 4 hours. Really, in 24 hours, which was yesterday. Today I'm fine with it. But it's been times I've slept 7 hours is about norm for me. And there was a day last week I slept 14.
Yeah, there's another thing we forgot off the list earlier, the sleeping patterns.
Yes, it's totally off. It's totally off. It's just an absolute, you can't, if anybody that's a clock watcher, and they believe in looking at their watches all the time or looking at the clock all the time, or to actually think about time, you might as well just throw it in the garbage can because it's over. It's all in the moment. It's not around your watch. It's in the moment of where you're at.
That is so true. I can't even imagine because I think that even though we're almost there, I don't even think that we're halfway there.
Right.
I think it's accelerating.
I always know that it's just going to be another adventure tomorrow.
Yeah.
It could be another adventure when we get off the air today.
No doubt.
I mean,
we could have another adventure in the next minute of the show.
We could. Y'all might not hear things that you never think would come out be on our adventure, Michael and Lee's adventure.
Oh my gosh.
But it's just, and I'd say that if you keep the light-hearted part of you, if you really go into the light-hearted part of you, the non-judgmental part of you, the love part of you, and just be happy. Happiness cures everything. And don't just keep walking backwards after you've walked 10 steps up and say, oh, I'm having too good of a time. Now let me back it up 2 more steps because obviously I don't deserve this. Come on. That's all I have to say. Come on.
Come on.
Everybody deserves to have total happiness in their life. And where it starts is within you.
Beautiful.
It's within you. Now, I see you holding on these cards, and you just chose one.
I just picked one, but I didn't flip it over yet.
Okay.
So
we're going to see what it says.
Ooh. This is from the John Holland Psychic Tarot card deck, and I picked the Firm Foundation card. And it's got the red border, which is like the earthy materiality, security, safety type of thing, and it's got a triangle. You're looking at the back of a man without a shirt on, and it has a red triangle down his lower back area, which is, totally that the foundation of our bodies. And then in front of him is a mountain. So that's so powerful, because I really do feel that we are strengthening our foundations right now. I know about a year or two ago, I had a scenario where I just had kind of like the rug pulled from my foundation and, crumbled a few of the false towers down. And now it's cool, because I feel like it's being built and structured and into where it's actually strong and built on love, the total love, without self or ego in the way. I feel that new foundation. I really feel like you all out there as well, now's a real time to hone in on building that strong foundation on love and joy and happiness and truth in everything that you do.
It is time for forward, not backwards. And, any people that's in the past with you, that absolutely, you can still love them, but it means you don't have to put up with them. And there's a huge difference in that. You can love a person all that you want to, but every time that you get around them, you're feeling very down. You're feeling like that they're always wanting something from you. Or you think that it's not an equal partnership or anything of that sort. Then just love them and just move on to a different energy pattern, because it's all around you. Because until you get yourself fixed, it's very difficult to go out to be a teacher, to teach other people how to do really anything.
And yes, we're all teachers.
And we're all that's right.
Yeah,
we're all
teachers.
We're all teachers. We're all teachers. And so you just fix yourself and just get out of your own head about anything but what makes you happy. The whole thing is the register. If I could put it on a 0 to 100 register, is when you have joy and happiness and love in your life, and in with yourself. Both. It starts with yourself. And when you have that, you've got it. You've got it, because you can take on anything that comes in your life, and you can conquer that. You can conquer it. But you've got to love yourself first.
Absolutely. I'm just had a question pop in my mind. I think it's an important one to ask. As far as putting awareness, and with this card that I just picked, is where do you feel weak in your life?
Right.
Where do you feel weak in your life, to where you could put some attention in that area right now to strengthen it, to do the things, whatever those things are, whether it's meditation, whether it's speaking up. It could be quiet, it could be speaking your truth. Whatever it is that's going to help you strengthen your foundation, it's the time to do it. But take a moment while you're listening to the show right now and ask yourself, what part of me is really weak that could utilize some strengthening efforts? What is something in my life right now that I could do to help strengthen my life, instead of the old patterns of staying weak in a certain area? Because we've all had certain areas where we may be weak in some area, and we have to learn and grow and strengthen and build the foundation up. But if you don't ask yourself the question, sometimes you don't have the awareness.
And while you was talking, I was asking in my head, okay, I wrote down, where do you feel weak? And then the next thing that came to me was ask, with an exclamation point. Whatever that is, as you just said, meditation, whatever. Uh-huh. The next step other than that is another person. Another person that you trust, another person that you have totally just been very close to in a short period of time, long period of time. But you know when your true person is talking to another person that's very trustworthy. You know that inside. So many people ignore that, but you know that inside. And a perfect question to ask somebody is, where do you see any weakness that I have?
Well, that's a good idea
That's
too.
a
Yeah,
great.
ask another person.
It's just ask another person, because a lot of times the way that you see yourself is not the way that other people see you. And as we just spoke about, we're all teachers.
That's a great question.
We're all teachers. So when we ask that question, we can get a perspective, and it doesn't have to be just one person. And you know what? As of when we leave this show today, of tomorrow, I'm going to ask that question to a number of people that I trust. And I cannot wait to see what the answer is.
That's a great idea.
What the answer is for me. Because there's going to be another little gathering that's going to be on Wednesday of this week on 12/12. And just with about 5 or 6 people. And I am very curious to see what they say. And then I'm going to look at my whole week. And I'm going to definitely zero in on what the number one weakness that collectively people came up with.
Oh, I love that idea. That's a fantastic idea.
And then, and work on it.
Yeah.
Totally work on it. Because it's amazing to me that a lot of times what you think of yourself is not who you really are. And the other people see you that really know you.
Yeah.
And they can be very truthful with you, because that's all that I've ever wanted anybody to be with me, is truthful. Don't hide anything from me. Don't think you're going to hurt my feelings. I can get over it. If you do hurt my feelings, I can get over it, But to ask that question is going to be wonderful. And the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I get off this air, I'm going to ask Michael Lott that question. And he's not squirming in his chair, so he's not nervous about it.
And I'm going to ask Lee the same question.
What a wonderful thing. Because that's where you can really start working on yourself collectively of what you get from others. So let me draw a card.
That's awesome.
Let me draw a card.
All righty.
Let me see what mine is. This is really not surprising to me. I'll let you look at it, Michael, so we can hear him laugh. This card is about harmony. And it is a gentleman and a lady that is within probably 6 inches of each other's face, and they're absolutely adoring each other. And they've got their hands up, touching each other on the side. And it's just total trust with this individual. Now, that's very interesting when I just get through talking about the trust. And it's a total trust harmony. It's just harmony within their souls. The soul is where the connection is. That's where it always connects, is the soul. You can always have friends that's in the head, but any type of harmony of love is always in the soul and the heart area. So this is these two people just adoring each other, looking at each other and saying, okay, this is the harmony. When you have the harmony, you have the love, your whole life changes.
You know what I see
It
out
switches.
of that is the healing green energy around
It
the
has
heart.
it has
in
the
that
healing
card.
green around the heart. Sure does. On both. That's right.
That's really
Because
neat.
that's what we're saying. We're talking about you heal yourself when you stay in harmony and love, and you don't get outside of who you really are. That's an amazing card right there, and I'm not surprised that I chose it.
Well, you know what connected with me on this is the picture of actually the two people looking into one another's eyes. It's so easy on a day-to-day basis to skip. I was actually, that reminded me a couple of days ago, I was at the grocery store, and I kind of was in a hurry, and I just realized that the cash register was taking a moment to look at me, and so I turned back, and just for that moment, I realized, oh wow, sometimes we all forget to slow down and just connect.
Look at people in the eyes.
Yeah, just have that total connection where, because to me that's the connection on a human physical level, where you become one, where you feel the oneness,
Right.
where you immediately connect with what's going on with that person, and all of those things. It's really powerful.
I think this goes back to what I was saying before. Let me get back to this friend that we were talking about asked that question. Well, I think this is also the question with the friend. is to stand in front of each other. We're going to do this too, Michael, so get ready.
Okay.
You stand in front of each other and you totally connect with the eyes and you just stare at each other. And just stare at each other for, let's say, 2 minutes. Okay, to start out, 2 minutes, a 2-minute stare. It's amazing how you can read people's minds through their eyes and their true feelings of who they are and what really resonates out of their heart. To me, it comes out of the eyes. Now, other people might feel it in different areas, but to me, it comes out of the eyes. I mean, last night, Michael and myself was on 2 different sofas in this room, and I could feel the energy of the shift with him, and I would look straight over there, and I would stare into his eyes, and I could just totally go into the eyes of where he was. And we've talked about that today. And it was around nothing but that. When you totally get connected to somebody, you can read it. And when his eyes connected with my eyes last night, because we were just both glaring at each other and staring at each other, I felt like he was reading me and I was reading him. That was what was going on between us. And it was just amazing to be able to connect, and that's the connection. If you're, will go there in this lifetime, I cannot tell you how wonderful that feeling is, to where you can actually connect with an individual and be able to go further within your own journey and help that person as well as yourself and vice versa. It's a journey walk. It is a totally journey walk.
It was awesome. Do you know what I just reminded? I may have never have ever told you about this workshop that I took a while back, or may have mentioned it, but not really gone into the depths of it. It was one of the most powerful body healing workshops that I'd ever been to, and it was a sacred intimacy for males. And we would sit unclothed with one another, holding one another, someone I didn't know, and looking into each other's eyes, and talk about the qualities in one another's body. Like the one would even say, I'm not comfortable with this part of my body or this part of my body or that. And the other person would say how perfect and blah, blah, blah. And, we'd go through these exercises of deep. I was spinning around after the end of that day because it was so powerfully just absolutely went straight through the mind of all of those patterns of, shame and all of these things. And it just like a knife cut through all of that stuff. It was so powerful. But I guess why I felt so inspired to talk about that is how the intimacy, you don't always have to have intimacy with just your partner. You can do it with your friends and people, and just sharing that eye contact and being present with them is sacred intimacy to me. It's totally divine sacredness of seeing the divine in another. And I just had to say that because anyone out there that ever feels like they want to work on that area of their life, we were talking about the weakness. That was a huge weakness for me, because I would like to connect with people, but I was so uncomfortable in my body with my own body image issues it was difficult for me to go deep with it, and it was just really helped cut through a lot of that. But I just want to put that out there because that, I'm sure there's other workshops out there for all kinds of people, but you can even create your own little sacred, or have a group where you when you have, meetings, regular meetings. That's where right. You take a moment just to, hold each other's hands, or, sit, knee to knee and look each other in the eyes. Just take that time to do that is phenomenal.
Well, I'm definitely, as I said before, this coming Wednesday, there's going to be an exercise to the point of just really looking at a person and going around and looking in the eyes and because, it's to the soul.
Yeah.
It goes totally to the soul. And when you have that feeling with another person, you cannot deny it. You can't deny it. Because when you start denying that's not there, then you're just fooling your own self. You just are. and you're not growing within your own mind to be able to release and just let go. So the key to a wonderful world, which is what we're going into a world of more peace. We're going into a world of more love. We're going into a world of compassion. We're going into a world of greatness. And we are totally going to be moving toward that direction, period. And I know just with what our plans are to do as far as to open up, this retreat, and there's going to be a lot of different functions on this retreat that we're going to do as far as teachings and things. But it's going to be just one of just thousands and thousands of these that's going to be opening up. I mean, I was listening to Oprah, I guess it's been now 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about, she got asked the question herself at the end, what would be, you've acquired everything. You've acquired all of this, and you're doing your passion of what you really want to do now, What, is there anything left that you want to do? And she said, absolutely. I just feel like it's just started. She says, because I want to grow spiritual type areas that people can go to and to live and to do whatever is the best for this world for all us to get along.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, that is the passion for me to do, is to be able to go and do all of that. That's where we're at. So when you start healing yourself and you go into totally switching your mind, and it really doesn't take that long as you're very diligent in what you do and every day, then you can actually go there. I mean, I never dreamed 10 years ago that I would ever be going toward opening any type of a spiritual retreat in an area and have the visions that's there to be able to do all of this, and to have the people there that I visualized to go into there and to do their thing. Because you see, as soon as that happens, they're going to be doing their thing, not my thing.
It's a team effort.
It's their thing, not my thing. The only thing that my thing is to go out there and acquire what I need to have to be able to open the gates to go in there. That's my thing. And then after those gates are open, then you have to walk the walk. You got to walk through the doors. You got to do what resonates with you. And whenever you're in your own spot of being who you really have tapped in, that you really are, it is nothing but passion. It is total passion to do it. And you can't even think about looking another direction of going to a general job of doing what you do. Some people just they enjoy that. They do that. It's fine. That's their choice. But today's world is opening up to more freedom with people all over the universe.
I just had a thought, and I think I may have heard this. A lot of the paradigm now is people are what they do instead of do what they are. And that's the shift that we're talking about this whole 2012 energy shift. And coming into the next year, there's going to be a lot of people. It's going to be a rude awakening for them, where all of a sudden they wake up and, life isn't working the way that it used to work, and they have to make a change. And that's the change is, being and doing who you are in life, not just because you've done something forever. And this is happening on every level of our lives.
Yes, it is.
Resolving to do whoever we are, be whoever we are out into the world on all areas. And so in any areas of your life, this is a good thing to kind of sift through. Is there anything in your life out there that is not really who you are, where you're doing just because you've always done it, and you're maybe just a little afraid of change, or you may not even know how to change or what to change. But if you have the awareness that you're doing something that's not really who you are, but you're just doing it because, it'd be a good thing to start going a little deeper within the self, or even investigating some new classes or things that resonate to your soul, some creative ventures, whatever kinds of things.
What stops a lot of people is money. And if you really think about money, it's nothing but a piece of paper. That's really what it is. It's a piece of paper. You've got to get around that, and you have to have your dream.
Well, I think you and I can both attest to this.
We can definitely attest to this.
Because I can tell y'all right now, I used to make really, quite a bit of money as a
So did I.
mechanical engineer. I know you did, Lee.
Yep.
You made probably 3 times or 5 times as much as I did.
Well,
Whatever.
I might not say that. I don't know.
But
But I have made some money.
but at the same time, I could pretty much do whatever I needed to do, whatever. But it wasn't who I really was. It was the best that I knew of myself at the time, which was perfect. But when the awareness came that was no longer and had to make the shift, I went from that to making nothing and kind of living on what I had saved for a while, and then moving into my passion, and that's unfolded. But I can tell you right now that the money and all that stuff, if you trust and step forward, just keep taking steps, all your needs will be met, and they may be met in ways that you have never imagined. You may have to step into areas that you may not have expected, but you're going to learn something. You're going to get a massive gift from stepping through it. And gosh, it's such an amazing journey. I would not change one iota of my life and the changes that I've made in my life.
You cannot put a dollar figure on happiness.
That's for sure.
You can't put a dollar figure of loving exactly who you are and what you are. You can't put a dollar figure on a lot of things that really make the difference in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And for somebody to say to me, well, I can't quit this job because I really want to, but I can't quit it because of this, that, and the other. And my story for that is, which I think I mentioned this several times last night, you have to take the walk.
Absolutely.
If you're going to sit or you're going to stand or you're going to stick in the same place and give the same excuse year after year after year, and if you do not actually step up from what you say you're going to do and just do it, you have to walk through the door. I think the spiritual journey and God's will for all of us is to see if we will take that leap, and if we do have the fortitude within us to not even think about any worry because of any of that, because in reality the source has all that you need anyway. And the key is to walk through the door with it. When you walk through that door and the divine sees that you're just totally committed within your mind, body, and soul for yourself and others, it will always be there. There's nothing that you absolutely even have to think about. It will always be there. And that is the key to it. And you find a lot of people, and I really wrote this down while you were talking, Michael, was anger. This year has been a huge shift in a lot of people's anger.
Well, they've been storing it for so long.
It's been so interesting to me to see the anger just flowing out of people. And if you say to them, what are you angry about? 90 times out of 100, they're going to say, I don't really know what I'm angry about, but I'm just angry.
Because they've been storing it. You know this as well as I.
You're angry at yourself.
Yeah, they've been storing it for so long that it just it has to move. It's just another energy. It's an emotion. It has to move. Has to get unstuck so that we can move forward.
You always have to have an open heart of change.
Yeah.
If you're not open enough to change, then you know what? I guess you're going to be stuck in anger. Because those two, I think, really work very closely together.
I had to move through a lot of it about a year and a half ago. I just had several phases of just huge waves of anger, of things from my childhood that were unexpressed and repressed. That it's just amazing the shift that's happened and the healing within myself that's happened. And I guarantee there's a lot of y'all out there that, if you haven't gone through it, you're probably going through different, phases in your own time and way with it. But I wanted to real quick step back because I had this thought.
Okay.
You were talking a little bit ago, and we were, about the following and taking the steps. I've had a couple people say this to me over the last maybe month and a half or 2 months, where they use the word divine assignment. They're given a divine assignment, and I this really has resonated to me because through my journey of, full-time healing practice and then having to step away from that, being divinely guided to step away from that, and then move back into a bit of the construction. I helped my brother's general contracting firm, grow into an organized, well-run place. And I was like, part of me is like, I feel like I'm going backwards. But as more I got into it, I knew that I was supposed to be there. And I really enjoyed seeing it as a divine assignment, because all of the parts of myself that were uncomfortable with being out in the world are getting addressed through working with this company and through just, the interactions of day to day with people. I've really had a tremendous amount of healing and transformation. And so you just never know where your journey, when you step out of the old and step into the new, where the divine may give you an assignment to go out and learn something or heal through even some real unusual circumstances. You may leave a high-paying job and go get a part-time job that allows you to pay your, whatever. You just don't have any idea or what that might look like, but what a great way to be able to see it as a divine assignment.
And divine assignments, I think, are also put in place to where you meet people that you should.
Yes, I'm so with you on that. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no coincidences. It's all divine order.
We were on divine assignment when we met at that fair.
We were. And who would have ever thought that? We was at a psychic fair, and I came up to Michael's table, and all of a sudden it was just, he said that, and he just told me this a couple weeks ago. He said, when you walked through the door, he said, I knew there was something different about you and that I had to know more. Very interesting. And I felt the same way about him. There was divine, and there was two other people with him, but I didn't feel the same about them. There was another person with me, but he didn't feel the same about them. That was divine assignment for me to actually be there that day. And the interesting part of that is I already had a class I was doing in Chattanooga. I don't know whether I ever told you this or not, but I had a class. No. I had a class that was going on in Chattanooga, and I'd actually come to that fair that morning, and I saw John, the person that was putting it on, and I said to him, because I had saw in the brochure it was a 2-day deal, and I said to him, I'm not going to be able to come in the morning session because I have to go to Chattanooga, and I was on my way to Chattanooga. And I said, but can I come later on and be able just to pay this fee and be able to get in? Because it actually said on the brochure that you had to pay in advance and you had to be there because of the classes. He said, no, Lee. He said, that'll be fine. He says, when you get through with your class, he said, just come on back and that'll be fine. Well, I think I got back about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was in the afternoon, pretty close to when it was going to be closing. And I just happened to, I actually saw a person's badge that said Dandridge on there. And then I just happened to look at that, got my attention. So something else got my attention. But I had to look at the table. And when I looked at the table, that's when I saw Michael. He wasn't even from Dandridge. It was the person that was with him from Dandridge. And we just kind of struck up a conversation briefly. And that was about it. And then the next day, give me your phone number. Got to call you. And it just totally just soared from there. You meet people in assignments. And that's the way that the divine a lot of times works, because you got people that has no assignments that try to stay by themselves and be loners. They came in with a theme of a loner. And sometimes assignments is they're taken totally out of their comfort level and given an assignment that they would have never taken on by themselves, but that they were pretty much the energy put into that place so they can wake themselves up and they can go into another part of their life that's going to be bigger and greater that they might not have ever even secured in their own mind that they could ever do that. Because you definitely have some assignments that's tougher than others depending on where you've been in your other lives.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I mean, it's really funny. I laugh about it now, but I've had 987 lives. My gosh, I must have been stuck in a lot of them with the same thing to try to conquer. Michael's had about 900. So you're listening, guys, to people that's had a lot of lifetimes. So we can definitely talk about a lot of this.
Oh
But I
gosh.
mean, this time around, we've really been conscious enough to want to have the higher consciousness of the divine to be able to finish our journey, and whenever that day comes, and to be able to go upstairs and to just really concentrate on the developing of classes to where we can and it could be electronical things. We don't know what it'll be, whatever that is, whatever's up there to do, and to be able to put there and be able to send it down to help other people. So it doesn't end just with your journey on this earth. Your journey will continue on a number of years. I mean, we're testimony for that.
Oh wow.
It's very interesting.
It so is.
It's so
We've been on a
interesting.
roll today.
We have.
We're already almost an hour.
Wow.
It goes quick when you're
Yeah,
having
it goes
fun.
quick. It does.
Oh wow.
But it's been great.
It has. And as we step closer to Christmas and holiday time, y'all have a fantastic holiday. Live, laugh, and love.
And that is the truth. And remember, do all that you need to do by the 21st of December. I will leave with that. Because shut off all the old you need to get rid of and pick up all the new that who you really truly are, and have a very blessed time doing it.
And so it is. Lots of love, you all.
Lots of love.